Hello and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henrie. So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope that something you were wanting, something you were needing, has happened. And if it hasn't, don't give up hope. Keep praying about it. Welcome to Ticket to Life again. I am Henrie, and welcome to all you new listeners. And I hope that you enjoy what you're about to hear, or I hope you can pass it along if you don't, and let me know what I need to do to get you more interested into Ticket to Life. But so far, so good. I've been doing this for almost 3 years, which is nuts. But anyway, I enjoy it and I love it, and I'm sticking to it. So today I wanted to talk about addictions, and I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. How many of you think you might have an addiction of something, some sort? Like I said, I'll get to that in a little bit. Just real quick, want to talk to you about my fantasy football league, Mama's Boys. I finally won a game 2. So when you hear this, we'll probably be near the end of the season. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that my team gets a little bit better. I mean, that's not used to. Yes, I am used to losing, but not consecutively. But I do enjoy it. Fantasy football. So do any of you have any fantasies about football? No, just kidding. I literally today do not have too much written down, so I am going to just wing it. I have a little bit. Usually I like to write. When I first started, which was funny, I said, I don't have a script. I don't have this. And then I learned, oh no, I need to have a script. So hopefully if you will bear with me and listen to Ticket to Life this hour, 30 minutes, I hope you enjoy it. The other thing is, how many of you have wondered who will be our next president of the United States? By the time you hear this, you might have, it'll probably be the first week already voting. We may already know by the time you hear this, because I pre-record all of these podcasts. But hopefully, may the best person win. I don't like talking politics. I don't like saying, oh, he's better, she's better, they're better. You know what? Excuse what I'm about to say, but we all know that we're all the same. So I just want a good leader to help our country, because, we need help. Help! Anyway, let's see. I covered that. And don't forget, I did post on Instagram, Ticket to Life Instagram, all the countries that listen or have listened or have downloaded. And hopefully you are in there. And I have so many people that have listened here in the U.S. Thank you so much. Again, I'm so thankful for you listening. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be doing this. So apparently I do have something to say about something, because people listen. And one more important thing. I didn't push in October enough about breast awareness, cancer. You really, if ladies and men, I hope all you men know you can get breast cancer also. A lot of people think, oh, no, I can't. I'm a man. No, you can. So make sure if you go to the doctor, have them check you out. And make sure, ladies, please, especially if you have breast cancer in your family, make sure you go. It's not the most pleasant thing to have your boobs squished, but it's important. It could save your life. So I'm pushing it in November. So actually, you should get it done anytime. I did lose my mom to breast cancer many moons ago, but it's important. You're important to someone. You may not think you are, but you are. So that way you have to take care of yourself, because you are important, and you always need to remember that. You are so important to me and to someone around you. You may not feel it, you may not know it, but you are. So let's get on with the show. Anyway, I'm going to talk about addictions, and I don't even know what got me thinking about this. Disclaimer, let me go ahead and put this up front. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a guru. I'm not a love guru. I'm not any type of guru. I'm not a therapist. I'm just Henrie, and these are my opinions, and you can like them. You can think they suck. I really don't care, but these are my opinions. Well, I do care, because I do want you to like them, but, we all have an opinion. And it's okay. It's definitely okay. We don't want to all think alike because, oh, that would not be good for the world. But anyway, today, I wanted to chat about addictions. Um, I read an article and I guess it's like, people have addictions and I don't think a lot of people realize the different types of addictions. A lot of people, first thing they think is drugs. Oh, yeah, they're addicted. No, it's not just drugs. Drugs are bad. But I'm going to read off a list, and hopefully none of you fall in these, but I do fall in one. And I will admit I do fall in one of these addictions. Okay, here are the few addictions I have, and gambling is one. I don't have an addiction. This is the list of addictions. You've heard of this. They even have the disclaimer, like in Vegas on the slot machines. I'm sure in other casinos, they says, if you think you have a gambling problem, call 1-800, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that is telling me that's a problem. If you're playing and you cannot get away, I can get it. It's a lot of fun to gamble, but it's not good. Another one is alcohol dependency. Oh, I just have a bottle of wine a night just to relax. A bottle is way too much. Yes, I have done that in the past, not anytime recent, many moons ago. Yeah, I was like, whoa. But no, it wasn't a dependency. But some people literally depend on alcohol. Yes, I love to drink beer and I love to drink wine. But no, not every night, not every day. Of course, when the doctor says, do you drink, when you go for your checkup, I'm like, yeah, you can't say no. I don't want to lie, but it is a dependency. And I do know people who have had family members who were alcoholics. And I have friends that were actually alcoholics, and they went to AA and they're doing great. I think it's really hard. And if you do know of someone who is an alcoholic or used to be, and they are trying their best to stay away from it, do me a favor. Don't drink in front of them. I made a mistake. Well, we made a mistake. We had a party. No, this was a while back, like 10 years ago or longer. It was longer than 10 years. We'd had a party and we knew that someone was recovering alcoholic. And of course, everyone was having a good time and drinking. Then I realized, oh, shoot. Perhaps we are being very disrespectful to this person. So, of course, I went up to this person and I said, hey, I am so sorry. Would you like for us to stop? Because I will ask everyone to stop drinking. And yes, it was a man. And he said, no, it doesn't bother me. I promise. It doesn't bother me. Well, come to find out, it was too late. He always carried a cup, always said it was water or said it was a soda, and we all believed it because we thought, oh, well, this is helping him drink his soda while everyone is drinking. Well, no, apparently he was already drinking. And unfortunately, he became addicted to his alcohol again. And I think that is so sad. Was it our fault? No, we were not responsible. I just found all this out. And when I did, I'm like, what the heck? I don't know. But anyway, so yes, alcohol is definitely an addiction. Substance abuse. And of course, this is the first thing people think about when they hear about addictions. Oh, cocaine, crack, heroin, ecstasy, amphetamines, methamphetamines, cigarettes. People don't think, oh, yeah. But those substances that not the cigarettes, the substances I first mentioned, that fentanyl, that's just some bad stuff. And you really need to talk to your kids. Back in the day, like 70s, they used to say, they used to have drug programs in the school where they would talk and really tell the kids how important it is to stay away from drugs because they're bad. We know they're bad. But if you don't have that conversation with your kid, yeah, they're going to say, yeah, I know. No, seriously, have a conversation. My husband He used to be with the Dallas Police Department, and he ended his career in narcotics. And he actually was asked to go speak to many of where my kids went to school, and he would talk about the addictions of drugs and what they could do to you. And he had pictures of before and after where people just don't even look like themselves. And these were young kids. So it's so important, and I'm sure you can get pictures, freak your kids out, because they do need to be scared. I was scared when I was a kid to do drugs. Yes, I was one of those people. I did not do drugs. Okay, I didn't say I didn't smoke pot, but I did do drugs, okay? Just remember that. I did not. No, back then, it was the 70s, no, I did not go crazy, but of course, my family members are probably listening to that. Okay, y'all, if you know me, you know me. And yes, it was the 70s, and I probably would have done that because I did. Anyway, was it a daily thing? No, it was right, but it was not. But anyway, let's move on from that. I did it. Okay, I did it. I'm done. I'm good. So anyway, so parents, be sure to talk to your kids about drugs. I mean, you think it's not necessary. Oh, they know right from wrong. No, kids need to know this stuff. They really, really do. Okay, the other addictions are cigarettes. I don't see a lot of people smoking like I used to, but you do see that every so often. Now, here's a big clincher that a lot of people will not even believe it's a deal, but it is. Sex. And yes, I said sex. Sex addiction. There are people who are addicted to sex and watching it and performing it. And it can be harmful no, I'm not saying to yourself, but it can be harmful to your relationship. And anyway, I tell you, there is literally an addiction for everything. And we cannot forget food addiction. And here is my addiction. And I am fessing up. And I don't know how many of you will agree with me, or how many can say, oh, I do that. Or you say, oh, I'm not that bad. Now I'm going to give you some time to think. What do you think my addiction is? It's not podcasting, but just my addiction. Okay. Again, deal breaker for me, something the majority of human beings do and would say they don't have a problem. And that would be a lie. Drum roll, please. Technology. Our lifeline to the world. Having our phones. So my husband and I took a little day trip the other day. I don't know how many people I saw on the freeway, on the highway, any road, on their freaking phones. Not talking, mind you. Texting. No, I was not driving. He was. And I'm like, oh my God, these people are texting. And you can always tell when someone is texting because they're driving, then they'll go off to the right, then they hurry and get back in the lane, then go off to the left, like a drunk driver. Seriously. And did you know that the average use of technology addiction for some is anywhere from 40 to 80 hours a week? That's a work week for some. Now, it says some sessions can last up to 20 hours in one session. Not 20 minutes, 20 hours of nonstop. Now, I'm not talking about work. I'm talking about just being on your technology, whatever it could be, your computer, your iPad, your phone. Yeah, I think that's nuts. But that is my addiction. No, I'm not on it 40 to 80 hours, but I am on it way more than what I need to be. And I know that. And I mean, our cell phones, our iPads, our home computers, anything to connect just to the world. Am I guilty of this? Yes, I am. I am so freaking guilty of this. I am always looking stuff up. Why? I have no idea. What? I always find something. We can be watching a program on TV, And I will tell my husband, oh, I know who that is. And I have to look up the person, and I have to look up what they've been in. I like to look up how old they are. Why? I'm never going to meet them. It makes no sense. Oh, I don't know the answer to something. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I would have like, oh, well, I'll find out later, because we didn't have all this. Maybe we did have it. How long have iPhones been around? Have they been around that long? So, I mean, our cell phones are, how many times have you left the house and said, oh my gosh, I left my phone? I have. I've gotten better. As long as my husband has his phone, I'm like, okay, if the kids need us, they can call you. But usually the kids will call me before they call him. So I think it's crazy that our phones have taken literally over our lives. We have become addicted to those. And I heard someone said that they knew that they were so addicted from that they got rid of their smartphone and got a dumb phone. I don't know what a dumb phone is. I guess it's a flip phone. So you can't, didn't have internet, just literally called. And I will not lie, I miss having a landline, but we got rid of our landline due to the fact that all we got were sales calls. And I'm sure this time of year it would have been political calls. So I looked up the average time someone's that's it. I had to look up stuff. So yeah, I did look something up for this podcast. I looked up the average time for someone's addiction time on technology. Although I am on my phone chatting with my family, and I do social media, and I've cut back on that because I was like, oh, let me see who's on Facebook. Oh, let me see. But I have cut back to that. I've limited myself to 3 times a day, like morning, lunch, and evening. But I don't spend like hours on it. I'm a scroller and see. And then, of course, unless someone sends me reels, usually my kids, and then you go into the reels coma where you just keep watching the reels over and different ones and cracking up. And yeah, it's bad. And I love to play games. I do my fantasy football on there. I'm checking my podcast numbers. Yeah, it's an addiction. Do I need to check my fantasy football every day? No, they don't play football every day. Do I need to check my podcast numbers? No, I just do it for the heck of it. Yeah, I think I have a problem. But do you? Can you relate to any of this that I have just stated? Can you admit to yourself that you have an addiction problem with your phone? I mean, it's crazy. And I don't know. I think it's the craziest thing that we have literally let a little thing that fits in the palm of our hand take over. I know I'm not getting, but some people really do seek help for it because that's all they believe is like morning, first thing in the morning, check it. Well, I'm not that bad. So I'm just not that bad but I know that there are people first thing in the morning, they check their phones. Well, I'm sorry, if someone's going to call me in the middle of the night, if it's a favorite, it'll come through. And if it's my family, it'll come through. I don't check my phone in the middle of the night. And I know that there are some people that sleep with their phones under their pillows. I'm not sure why. But there is a problem there. So unless someone calls me out on it because I feel like, oh, I don't have a problem. But if they call me out, I'm like, oh, they're right. So what is your addiction? Is it anything I've mentioned? And it's funny, but it's not, because it is. It's a bad thing, having an addiction of any type. It's sad that we can't admit to things that are bad for us. It's like, oh, I'm just going to try it once. We become helpless from any type of addiction, be it drugs, alcohol, gambling, overeating, because addiction is a sickness. It's not a weakness. It's a sickness. And we become helpless because we don't know where to turn to. I know that a lot of people rely on their cell phones or technology just to reach out to the world and be able to have a relationship that way. But guess what? People are losing their process of being to talk to humans. They don't know how to be able to have a typical conversation like, how are you? And it's awkward because they can't. Can I text you and we can introduce ourselves that way? No. But we are who we are. And sometimes we fall into a dark hole. I know I have, especially when I was younger. I don't really have a dark hole right now. Hope I don't get any more dark holes. But seriously, we do. We fall into a dark hole in life and just don't know how to get out. And sometimes it's easier by doing something, by taking something that might make the pain go away or the bad thoughts go away or get them out of our head, even if it's just for a little bit. But one of the things you will, all my first-time listeners, you will hear me say, not every single podcast, but just about every one, you are not alone in any situation in life. There is someone out there in this big, beautiful world that is going through something just like you are. It could be an addiction. It could be illness, a heartbreak, the loss of a family member, a child, a job. There's so many things that can happen to us, and we just get lost after this. We don't know how to handle it. But I can swear, and I'm not supposed to swear, so maybe I should say I can promise you that someone out there is going through something identical to what you're going through. And it's not a good thing, but you can lift yourself out of that hole. You may not believe it, but you can. You can seek help. You can find help just about anywhere. On the bottom of every single podcast, you will see some phone numbers to call. Don't be scared. People want to hear from you. They want to help you. There are people that want to help you through something. I have a friend going through a divorce right now, and it is not pretty. It's not a pretty divorce. There's a lot of heartbreak for the kids. Yes, kids are involved, and I have said this in the past. When you get a divorce, it's just not about you. It's just not about the other, your spouse that you're parting ways with. If there are kids involved and family members, it is about everyone. It's about friends. Because friends all of a sudden like, oh, we need to pick a side. No, you don't. If you're a true friend, you'll be friends with both of them. You don't, I don't get that when people's like, oh, well, I'm going to be his friend. I'm going to be her friend. That's silly. But just know you're not alone. So if you are going through something in life, please, please, please find some help. There's help somewhere. And don't be shy about it. That's why it's out there. And again, guess what? It's nobody's business. If you want to share it with a friend or a family that you trust, then do it. If you don't, if you want to keep it to yourself and go seek help, do it. I will pray for you. I pray for my listeners. I pray for my family. And I have said this in past podcasts. You are not alone. The best therapist in the world is there 24/7, and that is Jesus. God is there for you every single second of the day. And to say that, and people go, well, why are these bad things happening? Because guess what? It's life. That is life. And unfortunately, we have good things happen. We have bad things happen. This has been a crazy year for my family. We've had so many ups and downs. It's not even funny. But we've survived because it's an obstacle. But if you let that obstacle, even an addiction, get to you, you can go find help. Or you can help yourself. And I know, probably sound like one of those chatting moms saying, you need to go do this. No, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to let you know you're not alone. You're not ever alone in anything. Some people feel that they are not worthy of being loved, and that's not true. Everyone is worthy of being loved. I don't know you, but I love you all. Why? Because you take the time to allow me to come into your life. I pray for all my listeners that God protect you and keep you safe and direct you in the right way. Because being lost is not a good thing. I have been lost in life when I was younger. I guess to honestly tell you, I think we all have been. Some people just can't admit it. I admit anything nowadays. I mean, I've done some really nasty stuff in my life. Nothing illegal, but just stuff without thinking. And if you've done that, you've got to know that you have to let go of the past and live in the now and not the future. Because we are not promised tomorrow, but we are promised now. So live in the now and move on from the past. If you do have any type of addiction that I mentioned or something else, you can always go to Dr. Google and Google it and then say, hey, look, there is help for me. Seek help. Don't feel like you're alone, because you're not. You've got Henrie, a Ticket to Life, always ready to listen. If you want to send me an email, tickettolife@022@gmail.com, and then all of the descriptions on the podcast, there's a thing that says text me, or you can text it. And it gives you a number. I get the number. I don't get names. I don't get anything like that. But anyway, thank you for allowing me to kind of chat and just go off on whatever, but just to know that addiction is out there. I want you to keep safe, take care of your family, take care of yourself, love yourself. And I like to always say, go find your blessings, because we are blessed each and every day. I am blessed that you are listening. I am blessed that I am allowed to put my opinions out there. And I'm blessed just to have you in my life. So I will continue to pray for you. I will continue to ask you to find your blessings each and every day. If you have a job, you have a good life, you have a car, you have food on the table, roof over your head, those are blessings. We sometimes tend to forget those are blessings, but they really, really are. So anyway, this is Henrie. And until next week, I will talk to you later. And I love you. And thanks for listening. And see you then.